Good morning and welcome back to our journey. Today I am inviting you to join us as we process our peaches. I will be freezing peaches today and making peach preserves, crossing my fingers that it is going to come out because I'm trying a new recipe, and also just day-to-day things, checking the garden, doing the laundry. I have tons of laundry to do. Stopping to make breakfast, lunches, and dinners. This is usually an all hands on deck, all day long process. So the recipe says about 2 hours. I'm expecting to spend about 6 hours in the kitchen today. So I want to share this with you guys. So come along and join us. In the past, we have purchased peaches from a local peach truck or a farmer or a store, and this year we got them from the peach truck, which is something they do locally here in Kentucky. I don't know if they do that in your state as well. In Florida, they had something similar to it as well. So we bought up some peaches. We've already broke into the cases and started eating them, and we've even started dehydrating some. You'll have to excuse the mess. That is the kids' toaster oven, and boy does it get used a lot. It helps free up my hands when they say, "Mom, can I have a snack?" or "Can I throw something in the oven?" They can use that and stay away from the gas stove. So we're gonna jump in here and get started on peaches. I have quite a few pans out right now. I've got some jars sitting out. I'm going to have to take out some more jars. And really, when we begin, it's more of a prepping thing. I've gotten up, I've eaten breakfast, and started to pull things out to make sure I have everything. Candy thermometer, I shouldn't necessarily need, but I have it. We are pulling out several pots because all of these will get used today. I've got my scale out. We've of course got a sink of soapy water going, and you're going to need a water bath canner if you will be water bath canning your peaches. All the extra accessories, jar lifter, and of course peaches. At some point, Joe will be bringing in a big black table to put in here. I do not have the kitchen space that I once did, so that extra table is just going to give me that extra flat surface to put things on as I'm moving around and getting things done.
So what I'm doing here is putting an X at the bottom of the peaches, and that will assist with peeling them off. And I'm going to put them in hot water and then dunk them in ice water to stop the cooking process, and it will help the peach skin slip off. So usually I put a few in a pan at a time and kind of leave them in there about 25 to 30 seconds. You'll have to keep an eye on them and just check on them, but you'll see the skin begin to pull away. And then you just take them out and stick them in some nice ice cold water. This makes the peeling process a lot easier. Now, because I'm making jam or a preserve, I want the skins off of my peaches. You just grab the little tip of where you made the X and start pulling, and they just come right off. Now we are going to go ahead and dice up or cube up our peaches, and we'll also be removing the pit. I cut mine in wedges down to the pit in the center, and the wedges just kind of pop right off. It makes the cutting process a little easier. Okay, now I'm adding the juice of 2 lemons. And then I'm going to begin to add the sugar. I'm going to add 2 cups of sugar and mix it in really well to these cubed up peaches. And that's going to help start bringing the juices out of them. Don't those look delicious? Mm. Now I'm going to take my pan of peaches and I'm going to cover it with a clean dish towel and set it aside for a few hours or place this in your fridge. Now we have our peaches. They're broken down and you can see that they're sitting in a nice juice. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat on my stove, medium high heat, because I don't want these to burn. You're going to allow these to come up to a boil and you'll begin to see a foam on top. Now, it is up to you. Some people leave it alone, and then some of us scoop the foam off the top. You can also add about a tablespoon or a pat of butter to it and mix it in real good, and that also helps reduce the foam or get rid of it altogether. Okay, for this particular recipe, what we are doing is we are bringing our peaches up to a boil and then turning off the heat and allowing them to completely cool down. We are going to do this several times, 5 to 6 times, and that is going to allow the jam to thicken up. So while I have these peach preserves cooking, I'm going to go ahead and use up some more of my peaches by making a Dutch baby peach pancake. I'm going to go ahead and put this recipe in the description below with a link to where I found it. We have tried a few of these and they are a family favorite. It is quick and easy to make. You don't need very many ingredients. But when you have excess peaches, you can do this with blueberries, you can do this with apples, cherries, basically any fruit you have. The sky's the limit. But great way to use them up, even if you have some extra eggs, because I think this calls for about 4 eggs, this particular recipe, and it is super delish. Also, I'm going to go ahead and slice up some peaches, remove the pits from them, and prepare these to freeze. I like to freeze my peaches in Ziploc bags. It's really simple and easy, not complicated at all. And then I just place them in there, flatten the bag out, try to remove as much air as possible, and voila, frozen peaches. Okay, now we are going to begin the canning process. So go ahead and get all your canning supplies ready to go. And we're going to begin filling our jars. These jars have been sanitized and they are hot. And I am putting hot peach preserves in them, filling them up to a 1 inch headspace. You should have your water bath going, hot boiling water, and place your lids into some warm water. Do not boil those. We're going to go ahead and clean off the outside of our jars, wiping away anything sticky or anything that may have gotten on there so that we get a good seal. I'm using a little bit of white vinegar. Making sure my headspace is good, moving some things around. We're going to go ahead and debubble our jars just to make sure we don't have any bubbles. Now, while you're doing this, some might get on the rim, so you may have to re-clean the rim of your jars. I probably should have done this first and then cleaned the rim of my jars. Sometimes I forget. So, best to do it when you remember. Next, we are going to go ahead and place our lids on. These have been sitting in warm, hot water, not boiling, but some nice hot water to soften up the gasket that is on the lid to help create that seal. Then we're ready to put our rings on. You want to do this fingertip tight. It's best to really only use 2 fingers if you can. You're going to screw them on until the lid catches, and then one just a little bit more. You don't want them too tight because you don't want your lids to buckle. They should easily go on and easily twist off. We're going to go ahead and load up our canner. Space them apart. You don't want your jars to bump in or knock into each other, but you should be able to get quite a few in here. I have one large jar that I'm going to place in here. These are pint jars, and then, no, those are half pints, and then this is a pint jar in the middle. Make sure you follow your water bath instructions. When it is done, I turn my heat off and allow them to sit for an additional 5 to 10 minutes before I pull them out. And then I'm going to allow them to sit on a towel for 12 to 24 hours. You want to let them rest. Don't pick them up, don't move them, don't shake them, don't turn them upside down. Just let them be. So our peach preserve is complete. And guys, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey today, and I bless you on yours.